obviously the first movie is such, an iconic movie. What was made? What was it that you found out? Hey, they're gonna, basically make another part of it.
Sure.
And you're in it.
Fear kicks in heavy right away. Daunting. It seemed like and Oliver made it this way. It was sort of start doing your homework now. So we had about 4 months of prep, and I was able to, feel comfortable and confident walking in. But at the outset, I was terrified. To go toe-to-toe with Gecko is really not, it's not something that happens every day, and it's not something you really can plan for. But when it does come around, an opportunity like this, that fear really is the impetus for everything.
Right. Because actually, I was going to say this for later, but just when you mentioned Gecko, there are only a few really characters that have been created for movies.
Sure.
Where they've taken on their own life.
Sure.
And Gordon Gecko is definitely one.
Definitely. So much so that I would say 90% of the guys that I met on the street really chosen career path because of Wall Street. And so, we were fortunate and blessed in that there was this outrageous legacy that was with us, that Charlie didn't have the same opportunities that I had because the first Wall Street hadn't come out yet. It was sort of this, when Wall Street came out, it wasn't being, pumped in the same way, right? And so the expectation was different, but also the opportunities were different. Charlie never got to sit down with George Soros or Volkner or chop it up with Donald Trump about the real estate market, and really, really outrageous opportunities that were allotted to me because of the success of the first movie and because of the fact that Gordon Gecko became the villainous hero.
Right. And now your guy here, he's a young guy getting into, the business and smart, intelligent, ready to be a go-getter, and is also dating and then engaged to Gordon's daughter.
Yeah. Basically what that creates is, Jake becomes sort of a bridge, Really it's 5 sharks trying to eat each other alive, and everybody's got their own underwriting theme and objectives that they got to meet, and with her too. Gecko needs things from me to be able to meet his objectives, and so on and so forth. And so what you wind up with is this constantly moving, tense environment that the movie lives in. It's really about 5 sharks trying to eat each other alive.
Right. And like you said, so many different storylines going on. It's really great, like you see them all build up, and then at the end you see how they all play out.
Yeah, it's a cool crescendo. It's a nice setup. And it's also, dead to rights real. I think that the nuances and the reality of this movie, I'm very aware that anybody who's really on the street is going to watch this movie as well. With a different perspective than anybody else, and because we're dealing with something that is very sacred to them, in that this is the reason they became what they are. That you're walking on sacred ground, and so I think that Oliver was very attentive to that and made this as accurate as he possibly could.
Wall Street. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
It was amazing. It was the biggest American, Hollywood film I'd ever been in. And it was Oliver Stone and Michael Douglas and Shia and this incredible cast. And, it was like a boys' club, Josh Brolin, Frank Langella. It was, a bunch of boys, and I was excited because I thought it would be awesome to be one of the few women in a really masculine film and try and make a sort of strong female character that sort of holds along all these men. And I think I expected it to be vastly different from any experience I'd had in England, and of course the only difference was that the food was better, and, the crew was slightly larger, but it's the same camaraderie, it's the same kind of people, it was great.